Very well, thank you for keeping it with us at Smart 24 TV. I'm Rita Kavinero, and now we're going to be looking at how, referring from earlier last week when President Museveni launched the oil pipeline that will be crossing up to Tanga in Tanzania. And CSOs, that is the civil society organizations, came out after to urge that oil exploration companies on environment and safety should be very well also given a checkup. And we're here now. Joining me is Robert Mwesije, who is a coordinator, Publish What You Pay Uganda. Thank you for joining us. And we're going to be looking out for what opportunities are there as oil partners that you look further to be enjoying as we reap from it.
Yeah, thank you. The signing of the final investment decision for the ECOP is a milestone for Uganda, and I think this is now the beginning of the beginning of the oil business. So I think they are.
So it marked the beginning of the oil business?
Yes, it marked the beginning, although there are these preliminary activities that have been going on of the exploration, of the environmental impact assessment, the signing of different agreements, the production sharing agreements, and now the passing of the ECOP bill, which was passed in Parliament last year. Now it means now we are entering into real business. And this is a time now for Ugandans to wake up, and we see how to participate in the opportunities that are coming in the oil business.
Like what opportunities are we talking about, and how can they fully engage and participate in them?
To begin with, you know, they are looking for, I think, an investor. They are in the process of the major contractor who will construct the pipeline. And I think as Ugandans, I know there are very many companies that have registered with the Uganda Chamber of Commerce, and they have had some trainings on the opportunities that are available. And you know the act of the petroleum exploration, production, and the act of 2013 provided that the opportunities for oil shall be ring-fenced for the Ugandans. But there was some change, especially in the ECOP bill, when because it's going to pass through Tanzania, so the Tanzanians also have to benefit. But I think there are activities that should be ring-fenced for Ugandans and Tanzanians, especially when it comes to transportation, when it comes to hotel business, like you are supplying food or you are providing accommodation. Like when it comes to supplying the materials, construction materials that can be found from here. These casual laborers and these other supervisors, the mid level, those ones should be Ugandans. Okay. So those are some of the opportunities that are available. So they are many because when you talk about the pipeline is 1,443 kilometers from Hoima to a port in Tanzania called Tanga. So it is a very big distance, and I know
it comes along with quite a lot of activities.
Yeah, it has a number of activities.
Yes, and as oil partners looking further for more exploration in it, what do you look forward for? As you you publish what you pay Uganda, where do you join in here? You know,
for us, our work is really to work with government, to look at those gaps that need to be covered, especially when it comes to the issues of transparency and accountability. Because we know, for example, the ECOP will be getting loans from financiers, from World Bank and other banks in China. So ours will be looking at those monies and find out if, for example, the communities are being compensated, if those monies are being used well. For example, we are looking at the issues of contract transparency. Because for us, our issue, we want all those things to be published. For us, where we come in is to urge government, for example, to publish all those agreements. The host agreement, the agreement between Ugandan companies. We want all those agreements published on the website so that those who are interested can read. And if there are issues that we need to bring to government or to companies, so that we bring them to their attention. So our role is really to do the monitoring. We are to do the monitoring to find out, are those people getting jobs? If there are those jobs that can be got by Ugandans, are they being got? The monies, are we getting a deal, a good deal? Because we know eventually, although the company called ECOP, which is a shareholder, a tripartite, a shareholding between the government of Uganda, Tanzania, and companies, we know that at the end of the day, oil belongs to us. So we need to be the biggest beneficiaries. So if we are the biggest beneficiaries as Ugandans, for us, our role is really to monitor and bring to attention these issues to the authorities to ensure that we benefit as a country.
Okay, and what is your reaction regarding President Museveni's concern about non-government organizations? He called it pinning their doors into, the oil premises, especially around the Albertine Valley. He really doesn't care.
I think the statement was positive because he was saying that let the NGOs be allowed to go and monitor. So we are hoping that this time the NGOs will be allowed to all those areas. If you are interested to go and monitor, for example, in a forest to find out if biodiversity is being destroyed, to look at these, for example, to talk to the communities if compensation is being done, to look at even these establishments. The president said, let the NGOs be allowed to monitor. So for us, we are happy with that statement, and we hope that nobody will be stopped anymore to access these sensitive areas because the president has spoken. So we welcome that statement.
Okay, then that is a good service to you partners then. And moving further as we head into our conclusions of our conversation, speaking of oil, it comes with a lot of halting down the environment. How are you advising, or what do you put out there to the public and people who will be exploring these yieldings should be considerate at? The oil activities have got a lot of environmental effects, and considering the fact that it is in ecological passings in some areas, in ecological sensitive areas like wetlands. For example, some areas around Masaka, it has been discovered that there are snakes. And where the oil pipeline passes, it means the movement of biodiversity from these areas is going to be restricted. So for us, what we are saying is that the environmental impact and social assessments that are being done, so we urge governments and we urge the companies to follow the guidelines that are put in the certificate, because there are conditions. If the National Environment Authority issues a certificate, it has conditions therein. So for us, our role is to ensure that those conditions are followed to the letter, so that at the end of the day, as people have been saying, oil and gas is a finite resource. Maybe between 30, 40 years, maybe it will be finished. But after that, we want our environment to be intact. Okay. So, like what conditions are you talking about that you are there to look forward for? And
the conditions are basically given by NEMA in every environmental certificate. When they give you, after they approve your environmental impact assessment, a certificate is given with conditions. Now, for example, if you are saying that water should move, should move from one place to another, then there should be a way of making sure that that water moves. Then, for example, there should be those contingent plans in the case of leakages. Now, in case there is a leakage, how there are conditions in place that should be followed. And for example, we are saying the water should not be contaminated. Now all those issues we should make sure that they are followed. And if there is a movement of biodiversity, both below ground biodiversity and the mammals, how are we going to make sure that these mammals still move the way they have been moving? So those are some of the because they are going to be displaced. So those are some of the issues. And then these communities that are being displaced, especially where the pipeline is passing? Are they getting adequate compensation? If for example, you are going to destroy an environment, do you have you created an alternative to make sure that the biodiversity still remains intact? So our issues is that we should follow the rules and regulations later to ensure that this project does not destroy the environment.
Okay, very well. And as we conclude lastly from us, President very well highlighted, gave a chance to an expert from the Ministry of Energy to highlight, and one peak I got is that actually just close to the pipeline, this is for the future plan, there will be also a gas lane connecting from Tanga and also crossing into the country here. What do you react on that one?
I think it is also a positive statement, but as I said, we need to be involved. If there is any business that is going on, then we need to know if there are any studies that have started. For example, in Mozambique, you know, they had discovered huge quantities of gas. But in that particular area, because they were not involving the communities around, there is a war, and the whole process stopped. So in any project that you want to do, you have to buy in what is called the social license. The people, the citizens need to know what is going on so that they support what is coming out. So because our role is really to remind and urge the government that these businesses and these processes should be brought to the public so that we are part. Because after all, the environmental and social impact assessment, the National Environment Act provides that if there is any project which is above the threshold, an environmental impact assessment should be carried out. And even there should be public hearings. Some of these NEMA should not be passing some of these environmental impact assessments. For example, for ECOP, I know there are public hearings, but if there are others, they should make sure that there are public hearings so that these issues are brought to public. And so that now we can be part of the enforcement.
Public hearing? You want it to go to ground? Make us understand. Make them understand.
Public hearings means that you call people in that area where that project is going to take place, and the consultants who are doing that project, they present, and then people bring out their concerns to the public so that they are part of the decisions that are being made. Yeah.
Okay then, thank you so much. And maybe if you could give us your conclusion regarding the oil pipeline, regarding petrol, regarding as people who look out for in this sector.
I think my closing remark is that it's a good achievement for Uganda. But what we urge the government is to make sure that, because we know Uganda is a signatory to the Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative. So we want all of the contracts that have been signed to be made public. If there are those confidentiality clauses, maybe they can be left out, but they publish these other parts of the agreements. Because the government does this on our behalf. So there is no need why you should hide anything. After all, these things belong to Ugandans. So we need to read about these things. Those who are interested to ask questions, they can ask questions. Those who are interested to raise issues, they can raise issues, and those issues can be reconsidered.
Very well, thank you so much for giving us your time and for coming through on Smart 24 TV. Have a good day from here.
Yeah, thank you too.
Very well, and we have been discussing about how exploration companies on environment and safety will be handling that, but also what opportunities are there for you if you want to invent into oil exploration and also participate in the opportunities coming via with the ECO pipeline. And I'm Rita Cavaniero. You can catch me up at Rita Cavaniero on my social media platforms. Coming up shortly is a break, but after that, we continue to drive businesses with you right here. This is Smart 24.